Okay, good evening, everyone. So this evening, we actually have a special guest in the house. I'm going to embarrass him. We're going to not do the consent calendar first. We're going to call up Brian Bedish. Brian, could you please come to the podium for a second? Brian is actually here to help make sure that a grant that he inspired and a donation he inspired actually goes through tonight. So just another testament to his dedication. But I'm going to kill two birds at one stone while you're standing up there, because one of the items under the superintendent's report is about your the Connecticut Teacher of the Year event on December 2nd, and I'll go through that in detail. But while I have you standing up, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that you are Connecticut State Teacher of the Year, and you are, yep. And although we're going a little out of order, I do want to just recognize the fact that you, someone can, yep, here we go, that you initiated a Donors Choose project titled Field Trip to the Ancient World. And you solicited some wonderful response from that. And so as a result, we'll be receiving, Rogers Park will be receiving a $5,000 donation for the middle school for that work. And so tonight, under the consent calendar, I'm sorry, yep, from Shirley Shiljane. I'm going to go through that with the consent calendar. It's listed at the end. So it is to accept a donation in the amount of $5,000 from Sorelli Shiljane, you can correct my pronunciation of that, to support the school projects at Rogers Park Middle School and in accordance with 25-138. So we just want to thank you for that. Do you want us to talk a little bit about what that money is going to be used for?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I did not expect that, and not why I was here tonight. Yeah, so Shirley has been such a great donor to our school for so long. She, probably tens of thousands of dollars through Donors Choose. My classroom itself has close to $40,000 in donations, and Rogers Park has been over $500,000. And she's a big part of the reason why we have all that money. This is kind of like things that we can't do through Donors Choose. So we're going to look to renovate some of our courtyards. We're looking to do some artwork on our fences in the back. Some other projects that we have that are really student-led initiatives that we're using this money to kind of put the resources in the hands of the students and kind of let them lead where we go next.
Thank you so much. We appreciate those details. Okay.
Okay. So we don't
Go through the whole thing.
don't have Rogers Park to do that?
They just did that.
Okay.
So if you had to go through the consent, the rest of the minutes, accepting the minutes of the consent.
Okay. So before we move to any other recognitions, we're going to go to public participation.
The board welcomes public participation and asks that speakers please limit their comments to 3 minutes. Speakers may offer objective comments of school operations and programs that concern them. The board will not permit any expression of personal complaints or defamatory comments about Board of Education personnel and students, nor against any person connected with the Danbury Public School System.
Before we get to public participation, if there's any, I'll turn it back over to the superintendent.
We don't have any public participation tonight, I believe. Nope, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
Okay, spotlight your school.
Now, yes, spotlight our school.
Okay, I'd like to call up our phenomenal new principal, Mr. Andrew Lambo, who's the principal of Broadview Middle School. And I would just like to thank the diehard Broadview staff that showed up tonight on this cold evening for attending. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Online, but then live, in classic, and
You showed up. Thank you.
all right, everyone, thank you so much for having me tonight and for the opportunity to share Broadview's story. Each day, I'm sorry, do we have the slideshow or no? Oh, no, my apologies. Don't worry about it. Okay.
What was he going to do?
Ken, do you have his slideshow? No.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You can focus on me then.
Okay. All eyes on you.
All right, each day our students and staff bring energy, curiosity, and compassion to the work in teaching and learning at Broadview. We're proud to be a part of Danbury Public Schools' mission to become Connecticut's #1 urban school district, and proud to prepare our students for not just today, but for tomorrow. I'm honored to lead this incredible school alongside Assistant Principals Tani Dewanta and Anna Masciel, and Special Education Supervisor Kate Pico. With our teachers, department heads, and support staff, we've built a culture where students come first. Collaboration, trust, and continuous improvement guide everything that we do, because when we grow together, everyone succeeds. This year, our goals focus on growing the whole child, academically, socially, and emotionally. We're welcome to build a positive and safe school climate by reducing behavior referrals and positive choices through PBIS and restorative practices. We're also working to increase achievement in the areas of reading and math and academics. This is being done through small group instruction, data when planning, and lessons that meet every learner where they are. We've already made a lot of strong progress towards these goals, cutting behavior referrals in half by this time last school year. And we have a very ambitious academic goal. By December, we aim to increase 70% of our students will meet or exceed typical growth in reading or math as measured by our iReady assessment. And that's going to be up from 42% and 37% last year. Teachers are using data to now plan instruction, design engaging lessons, and create a space for students to reflect and take ownership of their learning. We're empowering leaders across the building to keep this work moving forward. Our new instructional leadership team will conduct learning walks, gather classroom data, and identify key look-fors that guide professional learning and support. At Broadview, we prepare students for success. Not only success at Broadview, success at Danbury High School, but also success in life. Through collaboration, communication, and problem solving, they're learning to work together, advocate for themselves and others, and take pride in doing the right thing. Once again, restorative practices and PBIS help students grow as empathetic leaders who use their voices to create positive changes. The goal is that each lesson challenges them to think critically, take creative risks, and build confidence and character through feedback and reflection. And this work continues on our after-school programs like the Extended Learning Program, ESL After School Camp, and Roots and Shoots, as well as our partnership with WCSU's Excel program, which provides mentorship and academic enrichment. We're also proud of our intramural sports program, teaching accountability and teamwork, and our creative clubs that we have at Broadview. Just to name a few, we have clubs that focus on art, robotics, reading, and community service. This ensures that there's something for every bear at Broadview. At Broadview, once again, we aim to place the whole child at the forefront of teaching and learning. We build trust through restorative conversations and regular surveys that amplify staff, student, and family voices. Learning is rigorous, accessible, and data-driven, giving students meaningful opportunities to learn and grow. Progress monitoring, feedback, and PBIS ensure consistency, while community partnerships extend care beyond our classrooms. The commitment shows in the events that bring us together outside of the classroom. Our annual multicultural nights celebrate our community's diversity through food, music, and student performances. Our Veterans Day breakfast on Monday honored service and unity across generations. Upcoming family nights are going to focus on academics, mental health, student well-being, because at Broadview, we believe that success grows from connection. I learned very quickly that Broadview isn't just a school. We're a family. We're proud of our traditions, inspired by our progress, and focused on our future. As our friend Officer DiNardo reminded us, and we remind ourselves every single day, doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it's always right. And this message guides us every day as we help our students with integrity, courage, and compassion. Doing the right thing is who we are and who we strive to be. The future is bright at Broadview, and we're building together one student, one classroom, and one act of kindness at a time. Broadview Middle School is better than ever. Thank you for having us tonight. Go Bears.
Before you leave, Andrea, I just want to commend you, and I know there's other members on the cabinet team as well, just at the marked spirit and positivity that you've brought since you've started at Broadview, and you have really authentic leadership style that people appreciate. You're an excellent communicator, and we've just noticed that the climate has already really improved since your very short time there, and we want to say thank you for that.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thanks.
We don't have anybody for participation, right? So we move on down. Al, could you do the consent calendar?
I make a motion that the Board of Education approve the consent calendar exhibits 25-135 through 25-138, which includes the Financial Committee report, the regular board meeting, Policy Committee meeting, and also includes a donation of $5,000 to Rogers Park Middle School.
Motion made by Al, seconded by Kate. Any question concerning the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, could I hear aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion so carried. Okay. Anyone from our educational staff? Not at this time, okay. We having a student representative here today? Okay.
Good evening, Board of Ed members, cabinet. Good evening, Board of Ed members, cabinet, and community members. Thank you for allowing me to represent and speak on behalf of the Alternative Center for Excellence. Today, Alyssa Wojtek and Diana Donardo took 18 students to the Aldrich Art Museum as an enrichment activity and to broaden the perspectives of our students. Melissa Lasky and the ACE Journalism class would also like to invite you all to check out our...
Excuse me, young man, we're excited you're here representing your school. We want to hear that lovely voice, so could you just speak just a little bit louder? Thank you. I know you are nervous looking at all these people, but we are happy that you are here, so, okay. Okay.
To check out our first articles of the school year in the Alternative Times. The Alternative Times can be accessed at acealternativetimes.com and on Twitter as @AceALTimes. ACE would like to invite you all to our annual ACE Thanksgiving dinner, which will be held Tuesday, November 25th from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The ACE Thanksgiving is our way of saying thanks to the community for all the support that we have received over the years. This event is made possible in collaboration with the Abbott Tech Culinary Program and donations from Stu Leonard's. The ACE family would like to invite you all on this day to share a meal with friends, family, and colleagues. Thank you for allowing us to share what is going on this holiday season at ACE. Have a wonderful break and stay ACE strong.
And
Thank you. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you. So we move on down the agenda. Okay. Superintendent report.
All right. All right, so just a couple of items under the report. We have been blessed again to be the recipients of Barnes & Noble's annual holiday book drive. So if you purchase anything at Barnes & Noble's between now and December 15th, we'll be able to get some level of that returned back in the form of donation back to the school system. So we're very excited about that. So please stop into the mall, and that helps to support our school district. We're also going to be getting some flyers out to the schools and through Parent Square to get the word out for your holiday shopping. As I mentioned before, we have a celebrity in the room, our very own Brian Bedish. I know I'm going to keep embarrassing you. You came tonight, so you're going to hear it a couple times. The Connecticut Teacher of the Year award ceremony will be held Tuesday, December 2nd, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. The doors at the Bushnell in Hartford will open at 4 p.m., and the ceremony starts promptly at 5 o'clock. We are very excited that we're going to be having a dance group from Rogers Park, as well as the chorus heading up there to support the show, which is very exciting to have our own entertainment open up for everybody. So there's plenty of room if you'd like to come. You don't need to register per se. You just need to, show up if you'd like to be up there. We do have a bus for students that's going to be running up there and returning students back on time for hopefully a late dinner. But they're all excited. There's so many people ready and excited to support you, Brian. So we're very happy for you. When you come back from that, the board will have an award night for you as well when you return after that. And so we'll be in touch with some details on that, and I'll let the board know which evening that will occur at. Okay? All right. DHS marching band. So good things are happening. So we've spent a little bit of money and a little bit of effort supporting a group. If you remember, just a few short years ago, this was a group that came to City Hall, that their instruments were broken and they had no props and they couldn't, get to the places that they wanted to get to. So we have invested in them, and they have returned the favor by winning the 25 Connecticut State Championship in their competitive class. Yep. They achieved a winning score of 83.2 at the U.S. Band State Competition held on November 1st at Veterans Memorial Stadium in New Britain. It marks the first state win since 2011. And in addition to the overall win, Danbury High School also received awards for the best visual and best overall effect. Remember, they had no props when 2 years ago, so that's a big one for me. They also now rank 5th nationally across 8 states. So they're on the move, and they're going to be entering some more competitions, and we'll be supporting them through that. So we're very happy to be supporting them, and Mr. Alfidi's doing a great job of organizing and communicating. He stays in really close contact with us with his needs, which is great. So we're very excited for them. I'm going to skip down to schools of distinction because we're on a high note. So some of you may have seen in the paper that our scores have come back, and we were very proud to announce as part of our accountability efforts that we have 4 schools that are being named as schools of distinction, which is not easy to do, which means there's either a lot of growth, or a lot of proficiency gained and excellence overall. So I will go through the different categories. So we have Great Plain Elementary School, which received a distinction for high growth all students in ELA. So all students grew, very marked difference. We have King Street Primary School, who have high performance and great improvement. Those are 2 really hard things to achieve. And so they really pulled that up in the last couple of years. They've done a phenomenal job working on that. And then South Street School received for high growth all students, and math and high growth for all high need students in math. And so 2 very nice different distinctions within that award. And then our Western Connecticut Academy of International Studies, otherwise known as AIS, won a school distinction. They moved to a Category 1 school with high performance, growth in ELA for all, and growth in ELA in their high needs groups, and growth in math high needs group as well. So they ticked off 4 boxes under that. Again, very challenging to do, so they won it in 4 categories. So we're very proud of these schools. We have a couple other schools that just missed the cutoff by a couple of points, or their subgroups were in a kind of in a different category. But we have our eyes on a few other schools that are working really hard. All of our schools are working really hard right now, and the work that's supporting them is their central office and the instructional rounds and the support through coaching and intentional feedback has really been important. So we're just really proud of our folks. So we're doing some good things. So we're really proud of that. And let's see here. City pension update. I will have Kim start off a little bit just to give us an update on where we're at. If you remember, there's kind of been a long-standing, this has been an ongoing story for a few years now, and it's sort of reached a turning point. So I'd like for Kim to start
Yep.
talking about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are, I think, rounding the bend. We've been working closely with Mike Weaver and his team as well. You might remember going back to 2023, which was the beginning year of the current contract that the paraeducators sit in right now, that they were entered into the city pension plan after some litigation that was settled right around the time of the new contract. So we've been rolling out that conclusion to the litigation by working with the city to identify paraeducators that both are current and also may have already left us. And we have been methodically going through entering those people, setting up accounts for them, and setting up their access to the defined contribution plan, which is where most of them are sitting. So it's required a lot of close collaboration with the city, with Andy Gray, who may never retire. I know she's been retiring for years, but we've been working closely with her and her team to get them the demographic information they need from some of our former employees. And Mike has done the heavy lifting of being sure that the vendor Mission Square has set up all of their accounts. So right now, his team is in the process of moving funds that were withheld from employees of ours pursuant to their contracts. Those funds were withheld in order to be deposited into these accounts. And now that the accounts are up and running, the process of transferring those funds over is in progress. In addition, all of their contracts require a 3% match. So there's a 3% contribution and a 3% match, which comes from the city. And step 2 is to get the matching funds deposited into those accounts. And step 3 is to work with some actuaries to figure out what some of the lost investment may have been in those accounts that were in the process of being set up now 2 years ago. So all of that is on the move. It requires you'll see some moving of funds to get everything distributed into people's individual accounts. We've been working on communicating with all of the folks affected how to access their new account so that they can see what's in there. They can confirm what's in there. And so that's been a bit of an education plan also. But with that, I think we're going to finally put to rest kind of the last pieces of getting all of our employees into the appropriate places and having their funds deposited.
Do you want to entertain any questions?
Are there any questions on that?
Kate?
Kim, thank you for the update. I appreciate it. I'm glad to hear that that's finally in motion. How does that play out for new employees, new paraeducators that are getting hired that are going to go into the program?
This is funny, right? It's wonky. So new employees are going into the defined contribution component of the plan, and by their contract, they have a 3% withholding, and that's automatic. We take it out of their paychecks and deposit it directly into these Mission Square accounts. So part of the onboarding process is going to be making sure they have their accounts set up, and then the 3% match. I don't think we've worked on the schedule yet for when that will go in, whether it'll be once a year at the end of the year, or how the match will go in. There's also schedules for if someone leaves prior to vesting, they'll take a percentage of that when they go. So there are schedules for that as well that we'll continue to work through. The plan itself, who's eligible for the plan, is all defined by the city, by the pension ordinance, and by the collective bargaining agreements. So all new folks are going into the plan. And it's those who have been here, and different contracts have different cutoff dates, but it's generally quite a few years ago now. Those people go into the old defined benefit plan, which is a slightly different structure. So.
Any other questions for board members?
Yes. Yes.
Just one small point of clarification, because it says here city pension update, and Kim, I think you alluded to it, but there are actually two plans, and they're very similar in naming convention. One is the defined benefit plan, the DB plan, which is also known as the pension plan, where the benefit is defined at the end by a formula. And then there's the plan that we're talking about, which is the 401A, or defined contribution plan, where the contribution, that 3% is defined. So just a point of clarification.
You said the city matches it, we don't match it.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much, Kim and Mike, and I just want to thank you both for working on this. This has been a long, tangled web of complicated factors over the last couple of years, and it seems like it's starting we're starting to see the light through the clouds here, so thank you very much. And then the last item is, working on some CABE resolutions. We've been working a little bit with the board on the approach to advocacy when we go to CABE and what we want CABE to back us for in terms of advocacy. And so we did have a meeting the other night, and Mike, I think, is in the best position to give a little update on just the highlights of the kind of buckets that we're talking about.
Thanks, Kara.
Yep.
So we had a great conversation, and we looked through the consent calendar, which is basically last year's whole agenda that'll be rolling forward, and then the proposed changes to that whole agenda and new resolutions that have been proposed. We really focused on about 4 specific areas, and we're going to be working up language that we'll be shortly sending to CABE for incorporation into the Delegate Assembly next week. These 4 areas are really about digital citizenship. The second one was about getting some policy guidance around AI. The third one is continuing the increase to Alliance and ECS funding that that stopped this year. Last year was the last year of the increase, so we're going to try to get some legislation that will push that forward. And then lastly, some legislation for making districts whole in the case that federal funding is dramatically cut.
Any questions from board members concerning those resolutions? Seeing none, thank you, Mike. It was excellent presentation the other night.
Yeah.
And I know I enjoyed it. And I think the rest of the board members that participated found it exciting, even though they're not attending the convention. So we don't know further down the line who will be attending the convention. And at least we know what's to look for when we go in the convention talking about resolution and how we should support those resolutions. Okay, thank you.
Great, and I'll just add on, because part of that was talking about the Alliance advocacy, which Mike mentioned. From the superintendent, kind of standpoint, and with my other urban superintendent colleagues, that's an area that we're going to be advocating for pretty rigorously in terms of any legislation changes or updates. As you know, it took a long time for us to get fully funded by the state of Connecticut. We've reached that fully funded ECS formula through Alliance. And now that we're here, there's a lot of folks, including us, are a little bit panicked to say, okay, when that doesn't increase with the cost of living or inflation or competitive markets, how do we make up that difference? Well, that difference gets made up in general fund, right? So we are, as a group, collectively, will be advocating and tapping all of our delegates, legislators to look at this area for potential action and advocacy, further advocacy.
What is that figure
Which figure, I'm sorry?
that we reached?
So we are fully funded, so we're at 100% fully funded in our ECS. So we've always been, in the last several years, partially funded, and in the last couple of years, they've accelerated the formula. We've reached the fully funded rate that we should have been funded many, many years ago. But now that we're here, you reach a cap on a grant. And so if you have a $30 million grant and you have $10 million in salaries in there, the next year, if your contracts go up 3%, that 10 million goes up 3%. And if the grant is capped out, it's like a credit card that runs out of spending room, but yet you're still gaining interest. So it's something that we have to really be careful with.
So the figure is 30 million?
It's 30, I can pull it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll pull the number up for you. I'll get you the exact number. Yes, of course.
Finish? We're going to go down to our board standing committees report. We're going to start off with community relations. Anything to report or anything to add, to what we've already been spoken about?
No, I just wanted to make a note that we did cancel this evening's community relations meeting because we did handle the bulk of the work on the board workshop on Monday. So we won't have another meeting until January 28th.
We don't have our curriculum chair here. Finance, Mr. Janelli?
The next meeting is November 19th at 6 p.m. It's a virtual meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if they go.
November 19th at 6 p.m. Where? Is it Zoom?
We have our policy committee. Kate?
Board members will see that there are a number of policies on here for second read tonight, as well as some additional from the 5,000 series for first read. And our next policy meeting will be January 7th. Thank you.
Sites and facilities.
We have our next meeting scheduled for November 18th, 6 o'clock via Zoom.
Okay, thank you. The agenda attaches the minutes from the previous meeting. So, you know, if you want to ask questions or want to learn what went on at the last meeting, you read your minutes. So, and then we ask you to at least participate in the committees and understand really what's going on. Our policy has been very busy. All our committees has been very busy. So before we go into that and I make my little other speech, let's go down and take the action items. Action item A. Juanita.
Action item A, Chappaq's Agri-Science Advisory Committee, appointment of members. Motion that the Board of Education approve the appointment of Samantha Galbraith and Superintendent Dr. Kara Casamero to Chappaq's Agri-Science Advisory Committee in accordance with Exhibit 25-139.
Motion was made by Juanita. Could I hear a second? Seconded by Al. Any questions? Dr. Casamero, do you want to just talk about?
Sure, yes.
why you
So,
on that committee?
thank you. I was asked by the new superintendent, Don Shells, who actually used to work for the Danbury Public School Systems a long time ago. I think Kelly might be the only person in the room who remembers him. But he runs the Chappaq and Agri-Science program, and they are supposed to have a committee made up of stakeholders, and he was looking for some additional expertise, education, and also in agri-science or veterinary science. And so he asked myself, and he asked Samantha Galbraith as well, who has a bachelor's degree in animal science, and she works at Danbury Animal Hospital. And because we are both from the area and can serve on that committee, he asked that it be approved through our board so that they have official minutes to enter for their committee. So we brought that forward. So thank you for supporting that.
Okay, thank you. Motion was made by Harris, seconded by Al. There shouldn't be no questions. Could I have a vote? All in favor of the motion, could I hear aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion so carried. Action item B. Kate.
I'll make a motion that the Board of Education accept for second reading and adopt policy 5141.27, first aid, emergency medical care, use of AED, as recommended by the policy committee and in accordance with Exhibit 25-140.
Motion made by Kate. Could I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Louisa. Shouldn't be no question. We had the meeting, had the minutes. All in favor of the motion, could I hear aye? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Any questions? Seeing none, all, the motion is carried. All in favor, could I hear aye? Aye. So moved. Okay. Action item C. Rich.
Motion that the Board of Education accept for second reading and adopt policy 5141.3, self-assessment and immunization, as recommended by the policy committee and is in accordance with the exhibit 25-141.
Rich made the motion. Could I hear a second? Seconded by Julie. Any question concerning the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, could I hear aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion so carried.
D, policy 5141.31, athletic physicals. Motion that the Board of Education accept for second reading and adopt policy 5141.31, athletic physicals, as recommended by the policy committee and in accordance with 25-142.
Motion made by Teresa. Could I hear a second? Second. Seconded by Al. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, could I hear aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion so carried. Policy number E. Dr. Cronin?
Policy 5141.4, reporting of child abuse, neglect, and sexual assault. Motion that the Board of Education accept for first reading policy 5141.4, reporting of child abuse, neglect, and sexual assault, as recommended by the policy committee and in accordance with 25-143.
Motion was made by Dr. Cronin. Could I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Louisa. Any question concerning that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, could I hear aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion so carried. Louisa?
Make a motion that the Board of Education accept for first reading policy 5145.15, directory information as recommended by the policy committee and in accordance with 25-144.
Motion was made by Louisa. Could I hear a second? Second. Seconded by Kate. Any question concerning the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, could I hear aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion so carried. Rich, are you going to do motion G?
Sure. Motion that the Board of Education accept for the first reading policy 5145.42 as recommended by non-discrimination, as recommended by the policy committee and in accordance with the exhibit 25-145.
Motion made by Rich. Could I hear a second to that motion? Second. Seconded by Teresa. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, could I hear aye? Aye. Opposed? Motion so carried. Kate, could I ask you to exchange and let Julie do the last motion, please?
Policy 5145.5, exploitation, sexual harassment. Motion that the Board of Education accept for the first reading policy 5145.5, exploitation, sexual harassment, as recommended by the policy committee and in accordance with 25-146.
Motion made by Julie. Could I hear a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Teresa. All, any question concerning the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion? Aye. Okay. No opposed, okay? All in favor of the motion. You guys tricked me up. Okay. The motion so carried, okay. Before we move on down, are there any question concerning any of the motion at this time? I'll give you the opportunity to come back to the group. Seeing none, we move on down the agenda, okay? So, I think the board chairperson will come before we go into executive session, right? Okay, so let me hear. I don't have really, my report is, and I'm going to lead this to the superintendent. The convention is the 21st, 22nd of this month. We have new people coming on the board. If they're interested in going to the convention, should they reach out to the secretary? Yeah. Okay, okay, good, okay. Some,
They can vote.
okay.
Not delegates, but they can certainly attend.
And we have our delegates all set up for the convention, okay? So if you want to know or want to go, we would love to have you, okay? So,
I also believe they have the new Board of Education briefing on December 7th in Rocky Hill.
So just, Cara Pompano's getting ready to send out a letter to all new board members coming in with updated information on any training that's available and a couple things that are coming up in the near future. So that should be going out by tomorrow. Should get it in a day or so.
thank you. My report, I just want to ask some, and I'm sort of out of line, and I know how to get back in line, so if I'm wrong. There were some things that I'm very concerned about, and it's concerning South Street School. And I want to know the exit to South Street School. That is a dangerous exit. It's a bus going to get turned over, a car can get damaged. Is that a city responsibility or the board responsibility? Have we taken that on to find out who takes care of that?
I'm sorry, I don't fully understand are you talking about the driveway?
When you come out of, there's only one way to come
Yeah.
out of South Street School, and you go down that hill. It's not level, because I was behind a bus, a big
I see.
40-passenger
Yeah.
bus or whatever, and the bus almost tipped it over. Unfortunately, there were no kids in it, but there's a dangerous turn. And I think I spoke to you earlier about.
Yeah, I think
We
the earlier piece was about the curb and the actual bump itself. That would be a DOT repair. But I'd like to learn more about. Maybe I could go over there and take a look with you. But just to understand the concern about people driving out. So I don't fully have a picture of it in my mind.
The driveway itself is not even.
Okay.
So if you got a car, you can't just drive right out because it's uneven.
Yeah.
And it would really damage your car underneath. So that needs to be taken care of because it's been a long time.
Okay.
Okay? And the last thing that I want to ask is the dog signs. Could we put the dog signs that we in the playgrounds that are in our elementary schools? Are we having a sign put up saying that no dogs allowed without a leash, and kids are in the playground, the small elementary kids are in the playground?
We placed an order for some dog signs on the playgrounds a few weeks ago, and they may have already arrived, but they should be going up in the next few days.
Okay. I want to welcome new board members that are coming on. We are excited about you, and we hope that we can continue the educational structure that's already in place and continue to build on what Danbury has in place. Okay. So without further anything to do, I entertain a motion to enter into executive session. So moved by Teresa. Could I hear a second? Seconded by Julie. All in favor, could I hear aye? Aye. We're going to go into executive session.
Bye, Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you for coming.
I can't hear what she said.
She said, thank you for calling her.
Oh, okay. What's her name?